That's your obligation, is to do your research, to understand where you want to study, what you want to study. So be informed. That information is going to help us decide whether or not we can get you through to studying in the UK. So a little bit about our credentials, Oxford International, and what role we play. Currently, we're a global pathway provider, an education pathway provider. We have 6 language schools in the UK, Canada, and the US, in San Diego, in Toronto, Vancouver, and we have 3 in the UK, in London, Brighton, and Oxford. We also have an extensive portfolio of summer junior programs where we bring students across to the UK. More recently, we had a school visit from one of your top schools in Mumbai. When I say top schools in terms of results, and they came across 2 weeks in the UK and entered a huge amount of competitions and actually won. Out of 3,000 students, the school from Mumbai actually took #1 position, which is incredible. Do I need? No. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they can hear me. It's okay. It's okay. So we're always looking to develop students with a broad base of programs, whether that's language programs, whether that's activity, linked to schools, linked to curriculum. We're doing the same in China, we're doing the same in the UK, and India is absolutely a focus point, a market now we want to bring students across to the UK. We have 2 independent boarding schools. Boarding schools are independent schools in the UK that are ranked by their IGCSE and A-level results. So there's 1,200 independent schools, we're ranked 27th. So very good results, very good teaching and learning. We have 4 university partnerships. Anybody here know what partnerships we have? That gentleman will know De Montfort University. Any others? Come on. Any? Greenwich. Bangor, well done. And Dundee. Okay, so the 4 university partnerships we're here to talk to you about today and give you some information on and talk to you individually. Dundee, University of Dundee in Scotland, the University of Greenwich in London, Bangor University in North Wales, and De Montfort University, where a great many of you will probably know, in Leicester. Okay. Last year, significant number of students came to us. They came to our programs, they came to our universities, they came to our schools. Over 50,000 students we recruited globally into the UK. So not a small amount,
yes, sir.
Pretty substantial. We want to grow the India market, and that's why we're here. Our university partners want to grow. We're looking for engineers, we're looking for lawyers, we're looking for artists, we're looking for product design, computing, psychologists. Yeah? Who have I missed? Have I missed anybody? Business and management, of course. So economics. If you're going to come across and study business, economics and maths are important. Yeah. So where are we? We were founded in 1991. We were two gentlemen, David Brown and Robert Doral. They're still with the company today. And we've gone from 0 revenue in 1991 as an idea to nearly 100 million sterling. Okay, so pretty significant jump. The investment came from the Prince's Trust. So you'll see on our website, Prince Charles, who is the son of Queen Elizabeth, our Queen, he, with our business, those 2 gentlemen's business plan, actually said, I like the idea of this company. We've been one of the biggest successes. So again, things can be done entrepreneurial for you folks out there that are thinking about managing your own businesses, starting your own businesses, coming back to the family business. You know, the world is out there, you can grab it. Focused on academic quality. So please be assured that your futures are very, very important to us. We are measured by the Quality Assurance Agency, the QAA. It's an overriding company in the UK that manages all 120 plus universities, including Oxford and Cambridge. So they are keen to measure our own internal standards. Our internal standards are, we want to make sure when you arrive, you progress. Too many students in the US, for example, are falling out. They're finding it very difficult. make sure that when you arrive, you are prepared both from logistical point of view and academically. Okay, so that's going to be the first part, is really thinking about how do I present my work? What does my professor want from me when he wants me to work in a team? So you're from India, and then you're working with somebody from China, Korea, Kazakhstan, and Brazil. Who's going to take the leadership role? Because it's a group project. Okay, so we'll have to prepare you for that. You're not going to walk into a class and then the professor says just get on with it, which happens a lot of the time. You will be prepared. How do you write a really complicated essay? How do you present that? How do you do a 2,500 word assignment? Okay, so these are things that you won't be prepared for now, perhaps, because the UK system of academia is very different, perhaps, to what you've been used to in India. So we make sure. So English for academic purposes is very, very, very important. Study skills, very important. Okay, it's not just international students, UK students struggle with this as well. We're a highly trusted Tier 4 sponsor. So if you're coming to us on a 4-year program, like that gentleman over there, he's got a 4-year visa. He does not have to come back. He has a 4-year visa. Okay, so it's safe. The only thing that can happen is if he doesn't go to class, he doesn't attend, he doesn't progress on his foundation. And foundation is 40% pass mark. Okay, so not exceptionally high pass marks. Okay. So I have 4 divisions: university partnerships, independent boarding schools, language education and academic short courses and teacher training, and educational tours. So the 4 partnerships. And you'll notice on each of those partners there's a TEF Gold for De Montfort, Dundee and Bangor, and TEF Silver for Greenwich. TEF, Teaching Excellent Framework. This is going to be the new ranking. So it's split into 3 categories for all universities: gold, silver and bronze. Okay? What does that mean, Teaching Excellent Framework? It means that the universities themselves are being monitored, audited for the number of hours that they're teaching, they're giving to you as a student. You've invested 13, 14, 15,000 pounds a year on tuition fees. You expect that your professors are in the class. You expect that you're not sat in the library. Okay, so contact hours. The minimum contact hours a week you get when you come to Oxford International is a minimum of 20 hours per week. If you went direct entry, you probably would get between 10 and 12. So those extra 10 to 8 hours a week are really going to prepare you, because you need to be in those small classrooms. You need to have that contact. You need to be being nurtured along, being prepared. Okay. Greenwich is working tirelessly at the moment to get themselves into that gold bracket. So, example, London School of Economics, top 10 in the UK, bronze. Oh. So they actually got a bronze category, not silver, not gold, yet it's probably our best school for economics and finance in the UK. But they got bronze. So they're investigating internally now, why did that happen? Are we spending too much time as professors on our own work and our own research and not giving it to the students? Okay. So we're a very small island. It's about 600 miles in length from London to Edinburgh. It takes about an hour on a flight. At the bottom, London is our capital. I think most people know that London is the capital of the UK. University of Greenwich is about 15 to 20 minutes outside of London. About an hour just north of London is Leicester. It's a 65-minute train ride on a fast. So very, very close proximity to London. And then about 3 hours on a train going over to the northwest is Bangor University. And then north of that, by 6 hours on a train and about, and by the way, our infrastructure and transportation is world class. So 6 hours on a train is not a hardship, I can assure you. But about an hour on a flight as well from London to Edinburgh, and then about an hour's drive from Edinburgh to Dundee. So you can see close proximity. It's really about where you are thinking to go to study and the university. So if it's London, we have Greenwich. If you want a safer, more environmentalist location, then Bangor absolutely sets the scene, and we'll show you some videos of that. If it's Leicester, because it's so multicultural, and that's what we see, a lot of Indian students coming to, then you would have an amazing time because everything in Leicester is there. You don't even need to travel to London because it's so risen in terms of what it's got to offer as a main city now. So a couple of highlights about the universities. Bangor University is 13th in the UK for teaching quality. So 13th. Oxford and Cambridge will probably be 1 and 2. And then outside of that, 13th out of 120 plus universities. Greenwich is very well known for computing, got a great business school, fantastic MBA program. So it's not so much about ranking with Greenwich, it's really about the location, and it's about programs that may suit individuals. So for example, the MBA at Greenwich is 3 months on the pre-masters. That will articulate into or matriculate into 1 year in the classroom and then 1 year guaranteed work placement paid on a 30-month visa. Okay. So there's some nice plus points there. 30-month visa, 1 visa, but your final year, no exams, you will actually do a project in the workplace that you've gone to. So we've got about 300 students on that program. Okay. Many students stay in London or in the UK for their work, and many go back to their home countries or to Singapore or to Dubai, really depending. But the idea is, if you think about the fees, ideally that work placement can pay for your fees. Yeah? So it is about thinking what is right for me as a student, what do I want to do, and what's my goal in terms of getting that degree. De Montfort, Art and Design, top 20 in the UK. So very, very, very established, some great outcomes for students, great work placement. In fact, all 4 universities offer some fantastic internships and work placements now. Because the more you're actually involved with companies, the better chance you've got in staying when you finish your degrees. And we don't have the post-study work visa, but there's always an opportunity for good students, good students that are dedicated, that are committed, that are disciplined to actually carry on working. So there are opportunities for those students. And then top 200 for University of Dundee. So research industry, fantastic university, strong in engineering, strong in medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, law, business. Top 200. All of those universities are in the top 600 in the world. There's 15,000 universities in the worldwide, at least. All of those universities in the top 600. Okay, Dundee being a little bit highly ranked with around 200. So, reasons to study with us. Talked a lot about how overwhelming it can be when you arrive in the UK. It can be. Just like me arriving in Mumbai and nobody there to pick me up.
Okay.
Think of it like that.
Mohit sir did not come, sir.
He was there to pick me up, so it was okay. But no, I've been coming to India for a great many years. But if China then, okay, just drop me in the middle of a tier 3 city in China. We'd all be lost. No idea, language barriers, be pretty harsh actually. So for us it's really thinking about English language, preparing you. Great many of you have got great language skills, but what about writing? So you've got the 4 skills, reading, listening, talking, but writing sometimes. And that's not just Indian students, that's UK students as well. We don't know how to write an essay that the professor wants to read. We don't know how to draw a conclusion. How do we reference? What's referencing? So the Harvard model of referencing is your professor gives you an assignment, 1,500 words, 2,500 words, 5,000 words, dissertation, 15,000 words to get your final mark. But if you cannot put forward an argument, if you haven't done the reading and you haven't done your research, you can't reference because he's not interested in what you have to think. He's interested in knowing you're able to research and put forward an argument, and your conclusion is the bottom part. So 15,000 words on your dissertation, probably 1,000 words is your conclusion. The rest is everything else that's gone on in the world before you. So these are the things that we will enable you. We'll give you those tools to ensure that you're able to do it. So English for academic purposes, study skills, very, very important, okay? When you arrive, day one, you come to the college. All our colleges are in the middle of the campus. You are given a student union card. You are shown to your accommodation. You are buddied up with somebody, probably from India, that will show you the fast tracks, how to open a bank account, how to get an Oyster card, where you need to get your washing done, where do you get the best curry, where are the best restaurants, okay? Important things, so there's shortcuts, so you'll get given a buddy. You'll also be appointed an academic supervisor. That person is there to absolutely meet you once a week, once every 2 weeks, but to give you support. If you're falling behind in your studies, you're not happy, things aren't going the way, you've not settled down, you've got no friends, you're struggling, these are the areas that you're not coming to class. We have a big man with a big stick will come knocking on your door. But no, you know, some students, when they start stressing and struggling, they don't come to class. Okay, so we don't. The academic supervisor is there in place in all 4 of our university partnerships. You get somebody appointed that you know you can meet them and discuss anything that's going to help you carry on and achieve your studies. So first year of accommodation guaranteed on campus, so you don't have to walk anywhere. All of our universities are main city campuses, so we don't have a campus where you see a lot of campuses now in India and China where they've outgrown and they have to go and put another college 1 mile away or 3 miles away. All of our city campuses, so you're on one campus. The furthest you're going to walk from your accommodation to your class is 10 minutes in your first year. Okay, 10 minutes. So those that really can't get out of bed in the morning, need to be in bed by 9, you could sleep until 8:30. You are absolutely close proximity to your classroom. Flexible start dates. So flexibility means we have September, January, April, and June. Okay, so there's 4 entry points into our university pathways. Because you are on a degree from the first day, which is level 6, you will need to have IELTS of 5.5, okay, in all 4 skills. If you fall short and you have, for example, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5 and 4.5, you will have to either retake IELTS or you could come to us for a 12-week pre-sessional English. So that 12 weeks immerses you in to college life, but you don't have to retake IELTS. So that's a plus point there, okay, for those that don't like tests. Okay, we have 100% progression. That's the good news. Nobody fails. Okay, that's our commitment. Nobody will fail if you come to class. You will fail if you don't come to class. Okay. Secondly, if you get 3 skills where you've got 5.5 and 5.0, then we would offer the 6-week pre-sessional English. So 6 weeks in, and then naturally progress. You take your final internal English exam, and then you progress onto your program. 1 visa for the entire course. So lots of universities accept you at 4.5. You go.
You come back.
Okay. Maybe you struggle because of the ranking of the university. Maybe you struggle because the pass mark's 75% and 80%, and you've got to get to 6.5. So 4.5 to 6.5. It's highly unlikely you will do both. A, get an 80% pass mark, go from 4.5 to 6.5 in essentially 9 months. So that means a lot of students are coming back disappointed because they've got to reapply, and essentially they're looking around for other options by then. Okay, so with Oxford International and our university partnerships, because you're on a degree program and it is a little bit more challenging, you will actually get the 1 visa, the integrated CAS, for the duration of your studies. Okay, whether it's on pre-sessional English, that will be included in your 1 visa, or automatically straight into your program. In terms of offers, what we want to do is keep you happy, and is working with our educational partners here, is we want to try and give you a minimum of 48-hour turnaround. Ideally, Mohit and his team in Mumbai have a KPI to try and deliver an offer at 24
hours.
24 hours. So we're pretty good at that standard. So you can be assured if you fill an application out, you'll get a conditional offer. If you've got everything in place, you'll get an unconditional offer. Okay? Progression rate. So that's how we're measured. If that progression, for 94% of the students we recruited last year progressed. Okay? If that was 62%, someone with bright spark here would say, well, what happened to the other 38%? Where did they go? Failed. Or not happy. Okay? 94. DMU, where that young man's going, 98% progression last year. Because we know what we're very good at. All those great things that we're offering you will get you onto your degree courses. What I get told by a great many of our lecturers and heads of programs and professors and pro-vice chancellors is, guess what? Your students are better than direct entry. So you may fall short with language, you may fall short and not have the best academic transcripts. We, in that year with us, will get you up to being A's and B's. Okay, so maybe you were strong at school, but strong C's, or maybe a little bit weak B, we'll get you to A's. Okay, that's our role, that's our job. Okay, that's our purpose. Okay, so there's a nice graph there in terms of International Year Zero, formerly known as a foundation program. So essentially high school, so you'd have finished your 12th standard, 11th standard. We can even talk to you if you only finished 10th standard on undergrad for one of our university partners. We'd look at your transcripts, we'd look at the your English language levels, what we need to do, and then you would then join us on International Year Zero, which was formerly the foundation program. You would spend 1 year with us there. If you needed the pre-session English, we could add that on there. You would then join your first year degree second year, stage 3, and then all the way through till you graduate. So that way, that particular pathway is a 4-year pathway. Okay, so there is no shortcut if you finish you're finishing your standard 11th and 10th. If it's standard 12, you can look at joining International Year 1. So you finish high school and you could go direct entry into International Year 1 with us, but that would be small classrooms. So instead of going into your first lecture, you've got 50, 60 students, especially if it's business, and you're lost, you don't know anybody, you'll be in a class of probably 12. Okay, in a classroom of 12. You would then, after the second term, start joining the bigger classes, because we'd need to get you exposed and integrated into that way of learning. But essentially that first year, international first year, is really a soft landing for you to make sure that we can get you ready and prepared, and you're not prepared to go into the bigger classes on that first day. You would just be lost, and highly unlikely you would fall out of college. So again, that would be a 3-year degree, and then you would graduate. In that area there, we offer that only in business and engineering, International Year 1. Okay, we're looking at adding computing at some point in the future. We're looking at adding psychology at some point in the future, International Year 1, and computing in International Year 1. So it's the fastest growing program.
Yes, sir.
And universities are happy for us to teach because they're moving forward. So we've got quite a number of students that joined in April this year. We've only found out yesterday that will come to us in January, and they'll come straight into our International Year 1. So they're being protected again. At the bottom, we have what we call the International Incorporated Masters, the IIM, which was, as you may know, pre-masters. Okay, so that name has changed. You've got your first degree from your university here in Hyderabad or in India, and then we'll look at that. We'll look at the transcript. We'll look at your GPA. We'll look at your language, and then we'll offer you either a 1-term pre-masters or a 2-term, really depending on degree choice and university choice. I would say there are no fast tracks when you're doing a master's program. Okay, when you go into a master's program for 1 year, you are going to be in the library pretty much every weekend. There are non-stop project work assignments. There's non-stop essays and assignments. It's absolutely full for 1 year. Normally 2-year master's programs are a little bit easier, but a 1-year master's program is, okay, that's a shortcut, but essentially you'll be coming for 15 months. US is 2 years. So if you go to the US, you'll be doing a minimum of a 2 years master's program. Come to the UK, you can do it in 15 months, but I can be prepared. It's full on, yeah? A lot of work. And if you don't know how, what I've mentioned, your English and your writing skills are not up to scratch, then we need to make sure they are. Otherwise, you're going to be, you're not going to be very happy. Yeah, it's because you're going to be in a class of, you know, Brits, international students. There's going to be so many different nationalities, and everybody's working in a different place. Yeah. Okay. So range of subjects. I think most people: business, engineering, art and design, psychology, pharmacy, social sciences. Yeah, I think we probably offer somewhere in the region of each university is from 250 degrees up to 350 degrees. So almost depending on your standard 12s and depending on your first degrees, I'm pretty sure we've got something that we could offer you in one of those locations. That's it from me. These are just our core values and what we pride ourselves